Hey everybody, welcome to Connected Trade Services podcast. Today we are going to be talking about permits and when you need them and when you do not need them. Connected Trade Services, we work with an array of clients from homeowners to businesses of all sorts. Many times we are asked why a permit is needed, when it can be obtained, and when it is not needed. Not how the process works and how it benefits the business or the homeowner. Many businesses we work with understand permits, and the majority of the questions stem from homeowners that do not have contact with contractors or tradespeople on a regular basis. So this podcast will be geared more towards homeowners and educating homeowners as to why they need them, why they should get them, when you don't need them. We'll also be going through some criminal convictions because it is an actual criminal offense that you can be fined for in the court of law. So homeowners, though no fault of their own, are fairly unaware when it comes to electrical safety and permits for electrical work. Many homeowners hold their opinion that because it's their own house that they can do what they'd like when it comes to renovations. This is true even with electrical, should I say. In certain situations, a permit is still needed, and it's crucial you know and understand these circumstances. A permit is needed only on any occasion that a new wire is installed and receptacles or switches is added, or at any time that the circuit is modified from its original location. This includes basement finishing and kitchen redesigns. Even if you wanted to add an extra receptacle to your existing circuit, you still need a permit, and nowadays with a new code that has been updated last year, you need it arc faulted, which requires a certain type of wire and many other standards that come with that just for safety. There are only specific individuals that have the ability to pull a permit. Only a licensed electrical contractor or the homeowner has the ability to pull a permit. These individuals are the only ones who are able to pull a permit themselves through calling ESA. And if you're not aware what ESA is, it stands for Electrical Safety Authority, which is the governing body here in Ontario. Homeowners are able to do the work themselves as long as they are aware of the codes that are needed to be met. Permit pricing is determined by ESA, who bases the price by quantity and varieties of devices that are intended to be installed. These devices can be added or removed from the permit as a project progresses. To update permits, a call to ESA is required, and they will adjust the pricing accordingly. And the pricing is much more cost effective going through a electrical contractor just because they have a lower price point. I believe it's about 50, if not more, percent difference. Because and this is not just to say that they're price gouging homeowners. Many times the inspector has to come out, and homeowners are unaware of these codes. So what the inspector has to do is show up many more times to look at things that a general or an electrical contractor would already know by doing this repetitively. The electrical inspector, they form a relationship with these electrical contractors, and that makes it easier to work with. The jobs run a lot smoother. If you're working with a general contractor, it doesn't hold them up either. At Connected Trade Services, the inquiry that is most often repeated and asked with the most frequency is why a permit is needed. The answer is simple: safety. There is no price that can be put on safety. Many homeowners do not realize the value of a safe electrical system, and the hard reality that there is no guarantee on the safety of the system if it has not been approved by the ESA or installed by a qualified electrical contractor. There are some crucial factors that are important to recognize when it comes to the necessity of ESA's approval. and we're going to list them here in 4 points. Point 1. The majority of homeowners are not educated on the various and multiple electrical codes. It is part of ESA's business to stay up with current regulations as well as to check to make sure that the job is done correctly. And these code rules change every 4 years. So every 4 years they make modifications where they remove things, add things. Last year was a big overhaul. Point 2. Public safety is a concern when it comes to electrical standards. Over the years, many individuals will be in, out, and around the property with or without the current homeowner. We take safety very seriously and do everything in our power to create and facilitate a safe electrical environment. If electrical work that a homeowner has done is not up to code and a fire starts as direct or indirect result, and this results in injury or a fatality of another party, this very quickly turns into a messy legal situation, potentially a lawsuit. Point 3. Insurance policies are quite strict regarding homeowners' renovations. Any situation that arises as a direct or indirect result of a homeowner's renovation that require involvement on the part of an insurance company are investigated thoroughly. If insurance demands a permit for a homeowner's renovation, which is also their legal right, and none is presented, we've seen that, and sometimes the result is the dismissal of their damage claim and they get zero. And this is devastating. And finally, which I touched on at the beginning of the podcast, point 4, the Canadian Criminal Code is enforced with this. It is a criminal offense to not obtain a permit for electrical work when it is required. Many homeowners, as well as non-licensed electrical contractors, have been charged with these offenses, and a hefty monetary fine is implicated. And every quarter, ESA releases a list of contractors or non-registered contractors, homeowners that have been charged by the ESA under the criminal code, and what their charges were and what their fines were. And I'll take a few minutes here to read out a couple of these that happened recently. So there is a man here in Port Elgin that installed a hot tub, and he was not no electrical contractor's license, and he was charged $3,000 fine plus a $750 victim surcharge. Another individual here also installed another hot tub at their place, and it was unsafe electrical conditions, and their fine was $1,000 with a $250 victim surcharge. Now we're going to bring you to this one, which is a very drastic fine and victim surcharge. In Cassia Bay, high voltage pole wiring, previously convicted individual here hooked up a high voltage pole wire, and he had no electrical contractor's license, and they convicted him and charged him with $10,000 and a $2,500 victim surcharge. So as you can see, many of these charges are not light. So it is important to understand when you need a permit and certain safety regulations. Which brings us to my next point. When do you not need a permit? There is only one occasion which does not demand a permit. The only circumstance in which you do not require a permit to commence home renovations is in the event that it is a same device exchange. This includes switches, receptacles, or lights. A same device exchange involves removing a device from its current location and installing a new same device in the same location without modifying the wiring of the device. Anything further from this will, in all probability, need a permit. Now, when it comes to businesses, Businesses are more knowledgeable regarding electrical permits. They typically work with contractors on a daily basis and so do not question it. This said, permits are required in almost every instance due to the concerns surrounding public safety. Dependent on the location of the job, we may be required to pull several permits to accommodate these rules in place. If the work required falls under a category of maintenance, we typically pull one permit for the year, adding each project as it's completed and covering each inspection. This year-long permit is referred to as a blanket permit, as it covers the entire premises, saving the client's finances from multiple permit licenses. So in many cases of apartment complexes, however, a permit needs to be pulled for each unit that you go into and do work. Say all the common areas, they do not need to be covered. So hallways, stairwells, things of that nature. And so this will bring me to my final note here. We at Connected Trade Services recommend that everybody uses a certified electrical contractor for any electrical work. In order to ensure proper safety requirements are followed and met, any certified electrical contractor who has been certified by the ESA has a ESA number. Each contractor's number is individual to them. To ensure someone is qualified, you can ask them for their ESA number, or you can simply look them up on the ESA website, findacontractor.esasafe.com. Hopefully you got some value from this podcast, and I thank everybody for coming out today and listening to this 10-15 minute podcast, and stay tuned for the following. Hope everybody has a good day and is enjoying some of this fine weather. Till next time. Bye-bye.